So I made some sales this week on my Etsy shop, and some of these things are pretty hard to let go of. And I'm going to show you a few different things. In fact, in this video, I'm going to show you the process of finding the items, because how you do your inventory can be a little bit tricky. And here we go. So what's going to be playing in the upper corner here of the video is me looking for the latest item, which happens to be a Loopsy. Okay, so that's not all I'm selling. What I sold last week was one of these. This is Captain Picard from Star Trek, and what I sold was Captain Sisko from Deep Space Nine of Star Trek. And as I'm approaching my 50th decade of life, I've decided, you know what, it's time to let go of some things. So if you're having a hard time letting go of things or transitioning to a new phase of life, this video might be for you. And if you just like seeing what people resell, well, that's also great, and I do a lot of that. In fact, let me turn this around here. That's probably backwards. But Rusted Robot Toys on Etsy is my Etsy shop. It is. Let me just pull it up here for you real quick. I guess I can't switch the video around because limitations. But I've been on Etsy for 4 years. It'll be 5 years this end of June this year. I've made 717 sales. I currently have 396 items listed in my shop. And the latest thing that sold yesterday was this Loopsy. If you don't know, that's an oversized head doll. This one happens to be naked. They seem to be pretty popular. And I pick things up at thrift shops, yard sales, estate sales. But what I really do is sell a lot of my own personal stuff, because it's time to start letting go of things. I've got 25 totes of collectibles in the garage. I've got stuff everywhere, and my collection is a little bit unfocused, so I'm trying to get it a little bit more narrowed down. So if you take a look here, you'll see that I've got a bunch of Star Wars mini ships, and I've started listing them because I love Star Wars, but it's not my main love of Star Trek. And I've got Hallmark ornaments, and I've got miniature starships, and I've got hundreds of action figures and little things that I can't even think of because they've been in totes for years because I have nowhere to store them. So the collection is a little bit unfocused. So I'm focusing on major things that I have. I'm also continuing to focus on my robots because I love robots. In fact, I did a podcast for 7 years all about pop culture, movie reviews, casting news, all kinds of things, anything that was to do with pop culture, especially sci-fi pop culture, and I called it Rusted Robot Toys. And I had to let go of it after 7 years because copyright strikes, because I put movie trailers in, and the algorithm decided we can't have music in our podcasts, so it had to go. I had to close it down. Then I did Soulforge podcast for 7 years. Now what I do with the wife, it's the Have Coffee Will Travel podcast, and one of these stickers goes in each order that I sell on eBay or Etsy. And both eBay and Etsy are Rusted Robot Toys. You can find all kinds of pop culture goodness there. Obviously, Etsy has way more stuff because I've been on it, I wouldn't say longer, but I've been focusing on it more. I've been on eBay since 1999, but I've only got like 17 items on there currently. It's not been a major focus. I find it hard to split focuses on different things. So long story short is I had to let go of Captain Sisko because he was at the top of my action figure tote. Him and Picard were both sitting on top. So I posted both of them. I listed them, and Captain Picard is still there. Commander Sisko, or was it Captain Sisko? I can't remember which version of it he was. Probably Captain. And it sold this past week. And also what sold was a lot of 4 TV guides from the late 90s featuring the Deep Space Nine cast and crew. And if you take a look, right, can I point? Well, right to the right there, right there on this shelf, those magazines at the top, that is more TV Guide magazines that I still have yet to list. So I'm slowly getting rid of things, the paper products, some of the action figures. I would like to keep my Hallmark ornaments and my Eagle Moss starships because I love starship replicas, as you can tell with all the Star Wars stuff. So Star Wars is going. Random dollies from yard sales and thrift stores, they're going. And eventually I'm going to have to go through all 25 to 30 totes of stuff and get rid of it. I'm going to go to the Hot Wheels first because that's been my latest collection. I've always collected something because there was a hole deep in my heart that could only be filled by stuff. And as I've gotten older, I've realized I don't need this crap anymore. So if you want to buy some crap, I got crap for you. Lots of crap. So anyway, the moral of the story is I've sold a few things on the Etsy shop in the past week. It's been slow ever since the tariffs and the war happened. Sales are down. I used to get 5 or 6, 7 sales a week, and it's been 2 or 3 lately. Sometimes not even 1 a week. And so I sold the dolly. I sold Captain Cisco. I did sell a plush. I do have a lot of plush in the store. And in fact, if we take a look here, you can see that I've got some featured items. I've got Star Trek. I've got toys. I've got plush. I've got die cast. I've got some house and homewares. I've got Funko Pops. I got some movies, some vintage electronics, action figures, some Star Wars stuff, kitchen stuff, jewelry, watches, home decor, some weird and wonderful stuff. Let's see what's in the shop. I got Kodak slide covers. I've got Taylor's chalk. I've got a compass. I've got a bug sprayer. Star Wars. I've got pops and Legos and pins. I've got, oh, you know what I also did? I started up a print shop so I could have some sales here. And I've sold 2 or 3 shirts, and it's been about 4 months. So I have stopped focusing on that. But I do enjoy making a few extra bucks here and there. There's some old cameras and an old shaver and some lights. And we've got glassware and ceramics and all kinds of fun stuff. So the whole point is I have been collecting since I was a kid. I need to get rid of my stuff, and I find it easier to go to yard sales and thrift shops and get rid of that stuff before I get rid of my own personal collection because, you know, it's difficult. So anyway, follow along, subscribe if you like this kind of content. This is the first video that I'm doing handheld just to see what it's like. Usually it's a tripod. This is only video 12, so I'm still getting used to it. I'm not even looking at the lens of the camera. I should be looking over here probably, but I'm looking at myself because I'm being handheld. And as you can tell, I've got stuff everywhere. We've got a spreadsheet for our inventory. The basement under the stairs storage is what you saw in that little tiny clip video of me looking for the Lalaloopsy. It's dark in there. It's hard to find. Not everything is on the spreadsheet. I've got stuff under my desk. I've got stuff behind me right there. Some of that's my personal collection and some of it's for sale. And you know what? It's everywhere, and I have to keep it up here. I've got stuff in the garage. I've got stuff in the closet over there along with our packing supplies and boxes and stuff. So long story short, or short story long, or just ramble, I don't know what this is. Please subscribe. Tell all your friends. And I've got life lesson videos, and we're going to do some thrifting videos. As I'm trying to get used to the camera, you know, so it's difficult to be on camera. I do podcasts. Have Coffee, Will Travel is the current one, plus Cosmic Pizza Podcast with a couple of British fellas. And you know what? Maybe I'll do a podcasting video. Would you like that? Leave a comment. Let me know what you like. Do you like thrifting videos? Do you like where I talk about being bald and accepting that? Talking about loss? Check out my videos on my channel. There's 11 or 12 of them. And what do you want to know about? Let me know. Subscribe. And this is the long way around, and we do everything the hard way here. So enjoy. We'll talk to you again real soon.